How do you help your clients?
For me, it started with me being in the hustle, right? And I think most business owners, let's be real about it too. A lot of us business owners, it's our second career.
Mm.
And staying in that practitioner mode rather than elevating yourself into that CEO mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in that too, and so we get trapped in this hustle and we're stuck behind these computers. We're working 100 hours a week. I can't even tell you how many times I ate dinner alone because my business was more important than my personal life.
Yeah.
But for me, I said I was tired of it. I'm tired of proving to everybody I want to live my life. I'm tired of being in the hustle. I want some harmony, right? It's not just I want the freedom and the harmony, but I think that we're afraid to go for harmony unless we're concerned that we might lose the money part of it.
Right.
And so that's what I help people do, is move from hustle to harmony, where we're scaling and still earning, that income.
Welcome to the Turbo Branding Show, where we help you ignite your growth by leveraging your brand to grow faster, easier, and more successfully. I'm your host, Sue Kirshner, and today I'm welcoming Lady Jen Du Plessis to the show. So let's delve into today's episode and turbocharge your brand. First, thank you so much for being here, Lady Jen. I'm excited to have you on.
Thank you. I am so excited as well. I cannot wait to deliver as much value as I possibly can in the time we have together.
Oh, and I absolutely know you're going to. My listeners are going to appreciate your insights on the importance of branding as well as the methodology that you share to help leaders scale their business.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, let me tell everybody a little bit more about Lady Jen and why she's the ideal guest to talk to us today. So Lady Jen Du Plessis is a dynamic leader renowned for transforming powerhouse businesses into companies that run smoothly without the need for daily intervention by their leader. And now check out this brand. She's known as the team building and scaling architect. I love that. But she's boasting over 40 years in finance with over 400 million in revenue generated. She knows exactly how to build wealth through strategic team scaling, sustainable systems, and high impact leadership. In fact, she's helped over 8,000 entrepreneurs leap from practitioners to thriving enterprises. She's also a celebrated numerous Amazon #1 best-selling author, podcaster, and TV host who delivers real transformation. And not just fast profits. The key is her clients achieve both business and personal fulfillment and success. So personally, just a little, get to know her a little bit more too, she cherishes her life in the countryside, enjoying local wineries, ballroom dancing, and quality time with her family. So now your personal and professional life is a fantastic story, Lady Jen, but so is your success rate for helping other business owners find success. So I would like to jump in and just ask you, how do you help your clients?
Well, thank you. That's such a fantastic question. And, I know that this is important to you as well, to help your clients. In fact, one of the people that I'm working with currently, came to me as and I thought she wanted to just make more top line revenue, right? She came to me in that kind of sense.
Yeah.
And this unintended consequence that we got out of working together was just amazing. But she came to me with a business that is high level, doing $13 million in top line revenue. She owns a roofing company. She has 45 employees. She's been in business for 17 years, 5 managers. And on the outside, she looks like a great company, right? And if you've ever felt like that, so as you're watching this and listening, you go, hey, everything's great. I look great on paper. But see, the thing is that inside, she didn't feel successful. She was working 7 to 7, 7 days a week for 17 years. And I said, well, what's the trigger? Why now? Why now do you need some help? For me to help you stop working in and on your business so that you can live above and beyond it.
Yeah.
And she said, because I just found out I'm going to be a grandma and I don't want to be that grandma.
Yeah.
So we started working and, she was doing her own payroll. And she had a CPA on staff. She was doing all the things. She was circumventing her team, which is, so everybody was walking on eggshells. So all of these pieces were happening with her. And 8 months later, we weren't at 13 million top line revenue. We were at 20 million top line revenue.
Wow.
She was working 9 to 5, only 5 days a week now. We got her weekends back so she could be that grandma when the time came.
Yeah.
And everyone was happy. The whole company was lifted. The culture changed, you're right. And so that unintended consequence was the result that she got from a financial perspective, but what she got personally was just killer. And I know that your listeners are saying, maybe saying that same thing as, wow, I may look good on the outside, but I just want to make sure the inside is just as good. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's build on that a little bit because a lot of your coaching and your consulting, your speaking and your mentoring, it revolves around helping these business owners free themselves from working in their business to working on their business. And I love that part about working on your business because that's where branding comes into play. That's where you actually have the time as a business owner to really concentrate on, well, what is the promise that we're making to our clients and to our customers or even to our employees? How do we want to be perceived in the marketplace? What do we want people to say about us when we're no longer in the room and things like that? So can you explain a little bit about how you were able to do that in your business and then maybe go back to this example and say, well, what was the secret or what was the secret sauce that allowed this business owner to step away from working in the business constantly to now
Mhm.
working on the business? How did you help her kind of switch her mind frame?
Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, another fantastic question. I appreciate that. For me, it started with me being in the hustle, right? And I think most business owners, and let's be real about it too, a lot of us business owners, it's our second career.
Mm,
It's our second career. I mean, some people they step right into it, but a lot of us is our second career. And we bring with us all of this credibility, all of this experience, all of this beautiful knowledge that we bring to us. And we kind of get dumped into this world of ownership, right? Of owning a business, whether it's online or in her case, it's a brick and mortar type of business.
yeah,
And when we do that, we start second guessing ourselves. We're going, hey, maybe, the imposter syndrome that you hear all the time. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was because we were a great widget maker at the company we worked for. And
yeah.
now we're a widget maker again and staying in that practitioner mode rather than elevating yourself into that CEO mode.
Mhm.
And I was in that too, and so we get trapped in this hustle and we're stuck behind these computers. We're working 100 hours a week. I call it working 8 days a week because if you're like me, you're taking notes, or was like me, you're taking notes in the middle of the night next to your bedstand. You're trying to decipher them in the morning, right? Because you
Right.
have so much going on. And, I was just trapped in that hustle. And I was laden with excuses, excuses why I was behind, excuses why I forgot the email, excuses why I was, especially with my family. I can't even tell you how many times I ate dinner alone and it was just zapped. My husband said, you know what, your dinner's in the microwave, just if you want to eat it, great. And there were times I didn't because my business was more important than my personal life.
Yeah.
And I'll leave with a quote when we're done, right? I'll leave with a quote about this.
Okay.
But, for me, I said I was tired of it. I'm tired of proving to everybody I want to live my life. I'm tired of being the hustle. I want some harmony, right? It's
Mm,
not just I want the freedom and the harmony. And the same thing was true with Dawn when she wanted this freedom and this harmony. But I think that we're afraid to go for harmony unless we're concerned that we might lose the money part of it. And
right.
so that's what I help people do is move from hustle to harmony where we're scaling and still earning that income. But I want to point out one thing here really important. I don't believe in working in or on your business
Okay.
either. It's not a transition from in to on. And I've seen this for many, many years where people are in, and that's doing the flurry of activity and being involved.
Right.
And then on is little shots of, well, I'll take a half a day. I'll go to an event. I'll try to get motivated by going to a webinar. I'll try to get this, because I'm going to get this motivation, this external thing, and I'll work on it for shots of it. And often when you work like that, you don't take action. You go, okay, I'm going to build this thing. We're going to have an offsite meeting. We're going to brainstorm. We're going to come together. And then it just gets shelved. Or your business plan, you work on your business plan and it gets shelved.
Right.
And I thought, well, I don't want in or on because that's not enough. For me, it's not working, right? Working in and on. It's living above and beyond.
Mm,
That's the transition that people are looking for. And by the way, that's when you can really create a brand because now you're not in the minutia. Now you're able to go out, tether yourself away from the minutia of your business and really get out and share with the world who you are, not what you do, right? And it's not
right.
always who you are and how you can serve more people because you've created and built a team that can create a client experience just like you built, right? You're just
Right.
duplicating that client experience and delegating to them that same experience that you're out talking about. And that's when your brand starts really, really exploding out in the marketplace.
Yeah. No, I love that whole idea of above and beyond because you're right. It's, when you're able to, like you said, have a team and have processes and systems in place for your organization in order to scale, your role changes as the
Yeah,
leader of the organization. And like you said, you can go above and beyond. And as that leader, you may suddenly start working on, like you were talking about, using your personal brand to
yeah,
become the leader that then, shares how their personal brand, distributes down into the organization. You may become that face or that spokesperson for the organization, and that's desperately what could be needed to help them grow and things like that. So I like that concept of, you're right, working on the business for most founders and most CEOs is just not enough. It's not
yeah,
enough to be
yeah,
able to. And so changing that mindset to above and beyond
yeah.
is fascinating. So,
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, let me give you the secret sauce on this. When
yeah,
you're working in your business, it's all about me, right? Because you're everything. You're the
right.
chief, whatever that phrase is, because I can never remember the cookie bottle person, whatever it is.
Right, right,
But you're the
exactly.
chief
You're
person of
wearing every
everything.
single hat, doing
You
every
have
single
every
thing.
single hat in it,
Yeah.
right? So that's the me phase. When you're on your business, that's your method phase. This is where you're
Okay.
educating and delegating people your method.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do your method.
Right.
When you go to above, now what you're managing is the message. You're
Yeah.
managing the message, and your people are managing that same message. If you're good at this, right, and you've been trained on it, you now can educate your client, your team on that message so that when your clients talk to them, it's like talking to you. You
Yes.
use the same verbiage, you use it's all the same voice, everything. And
Yes.
then when you go above beyond, you're managing the money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And maybe you'll buy another company. Maybe you'll
Yeah.
start another company. Maybe you'll travel the world. Maybe you'll sleep in.
Oh, lovely.
Your beyond is your beyond.
Right, right.
Yeah,
No, I like that because as you're talking about, you're managing the message because really, and this is something I talk to my clients about constantly, is as the founder, as the CEO, leader of the organization, you are the brand steward. You need to walk the
absolutely.
talk. You need to communicate what those brand characteristics look like in our organization. And I also work with a lot of CEOs and clients where it's a lot of the, for founders, the core values and the brand personality of the organization really is derived from the personality and core values of the leader. And so
Absolutely.
working with them to kind of, like you said, how do we take it from here at leadership level and push it down so that everyone understands what those characteristics are and now it can stand on its own. So the leader, like you said, can be beyond, doesn't have to be
Yeah,
there every day. If they were to sell the organization, the leader doesn't have to be sold with the organization in
right.
order for it to have value.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. I mean, look at Starbucks. When you go to Starbucks, they say, "What can we get started for you?" That's voice. That's
Yes,
messaging, right? When you
right.
go to McDonald's, they say, "What can I take your order?" That's still voice and messaging. When you walk into Walmart, they're like, "Welcome to Walmart." That's
Yeah,
voice and messaging. Someone above said, "Hey, this is how we want to be perceived." And that's the only way that they could do it was to share it with your team. So those of you that are listening here, share it with your team. You got to share your core values, you have to share your vision, and you have to share your voice. They
right.
have to know what you're trying to accomplish, right? Otherwise, you are tethered back to your business every single day. And as you try to get away, you pulled back. Your above and beyond is to attract more people to sustain and fulfill the dreams of your team.
I like that. I like that. Well, good. Well, all right. Well, let's build on this a little bit more now, and let's talk about a leader who has been able to step above and beyond. And I'm going to use you as the example because you have a variety of brands associated with your name. You have the Lady Jen Du Plessis brand as the kind of umbrella, and then you have a couple of different brands underneath that. Can you kind of talk through that, explain what those are, and how they relate to each other?
Yeah, well, it starts with obviously business, right? For me, when I came out of hustle or was trying to get out of hustle,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I was saying enough is enough, and now I want to be, something else. And I was looking at, well, what do I want to be? And the great Les Brown has a phrase. He says, if you're casual about your business will become a casualty. And
Mm.
I had this wonderful privilege of being on his speaking faculty prior to the pandemic. And I started going, well, there's nothing casual about my business. I mean, and I wasn't in the mortgage business at this time. I was already doing what I'm doing now. But I
Right.
was like, there's nothing casual about my business. I'm hustling.
Yes.
That's casual. I'm
Yeah.
working hard, right? But one of the things that I learned about him is that if you're casual about your business, that means you're skimming the top. He's got another quote that he says is if you do what's easy, your life will be hard. If you do what's hard, your life will be easy. Well, most of us take that and say, oh, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work these long, hard hours and then it'll be easy. But
Yeah.
what he's really saying, and what I learned from him was if you do the hard work for a short time, life will be easy.
Yes.
If you skim the surface and do everything easy, I don't need to learn this. I don't need to enhance my management or leadership skills. I don't need team members. Look, it takes a village to create a big business. It just does. And whether it's AI or whether it's people, you're going to need both. It's a
Right.
hybrid of both. And that's what we're going to need going forward. And I realized wow, I am being casual about my business because I'm just running around like a little butterfly, right? Or a bumblebee. I'm going a little here, a little there, a little there, a little there. And I wasn't doing anything deep.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing deep, just skimming that surface. And I started going, okay, I'm not going to be casual anymore. So what do I want to be? Well, for me, it was, I want to be elite,
Yeah.
right? I want to be an elite business. And then I started thinking, wait a minute, all the people I'm working with, are they casual about their business too? Are they just skimming the surface? Do I have deep relationships that mean something to me and mean something to them? And I had to think, do I stop working with people that complicate and only work with people that complement
Mm.
this mission I'm on?
Yeah.
To be an elite business, right? And for me, elite, I started looking up I'm a big wordsmith. So I'm looking up the word and I'm going, okay, what does elite really mean? Well, for me, it meant that I was upholding a character, right? I had a
Okay.
character, I had integrity.
Yeah.
I was going to be the best of the best. I was going to be known in my market as the go to and not just be on someone's list,
Yep.
right? It just meant a lot of things. And so I had to level up my game.
Yeah.
No more being a practitioner. I'm going to level up my game. And in my practice, it meant this motto. So you want to write this down if you're listening. Mindset plus mechanics equals momentum. Mechanics is just mechanics. That's
Yeah.
hustle.
Yeah.
That mindset I had to level that up and say, hey, wait a minute here. If I want to be a really strong company, a sustainable business that's going to last for a really long time, I have to level me up.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's not just about doing, it's about who I'm becoming.
Yes. I like that because most CEOs and founders I talk about, they're so focused on the mechanics, as you talked about. It's the, oh, well, we need processes. Oh, well, we need systems. Oh, well, we need to just keep bringing in more people and make sure the onboarding experience is consistent and things like that. But you're right. It does take a different mindset from the
Yeah,
founder, the leader, to be able to say, we're going, we're leveling up, we're going to a different plateau.
right. Yeah.
and I need to change to bring everyone else up with me.
Yeah. And it requires systems. There's no doubt about it. It
Yeah,
requires systems, different new systems as you go up and new relationships as you climb that ladder of success. It
right.
requires new relationships. And some people will become an anchor and you're going to have to let them go. And it's not mean, right? I'm not trying to make everybody mean, but
Yeah,
success, breeds success. And we just can't have people that are going to anchor us down. And it's not anchoring you so that you can make money, so that you can be that. It's
right.
anchoring down everyone who's on the team. So
Yes.
you want people that want that up leveling as well.
Yeah, perfect. Now, I want to talk about something that you mentioned to me that I like because as you talk about these founders, these business owners, up leveling and having the time to go out and promote and get the message out there and things like that. You
Exciting.
mentioned, yeah, exactly. Well, you
Yeah.
mentioned another phrase to me that I absolutely loved, which is, what is it? It's,
FOMO,
let me
not
write it here,
promo.
FOMO to promo, because really business owners, as you said, you're trying to help elevate them and get them above and
Yeah.
beyond, but you're also promising them that this is also going to help them in their personal life. So if they're looking at it as like, oh, again, this whole
Right.
idea about
Right.
promotion or I need to be seen everywhere is going to create chaos in my life. I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
Tell them a little bit about your philosophy there, FOMO to promo, that it doesn't have to be that way.
Right. Look, I want you to grow your business and scale your business without sacrificing your personal life. And I know that because I was already sacrificing, and you may already be sacrificing your personal life in what you're doing. So, how's that working?
Right.
It's
Right.
not, right? It's not working. And one of the things that I want to give to your audience today is a way for them to be able to identify what isn't working, right? We'll
Okay.
talk about that a little bit later here today. But yeah, so it was my own experience. I was with my own coach. And I said, I think I've had enough of this FOMO, right? I'm afraid that if I feel like I have to go everywhere and be everywhere and do everything with everybody. And I said, wait a minute. I have a phrase in my practice at that time was let's slow down so we can speed up instead of speeding up to slow down.
Hmm.
And that was really important. And I started going, wait a minute, I don't need to be everywhere. I don't have to attend everything. And in fact, and again, I will be giving this gift here, but one of the strategies, for that I work with my clients is what can we eliminate that's not working?
Okay.
So it's not come in and we're going to add. We're going to eliminate what's already not working. And we may introduce it again later, right? Bring it back in when the time's appropriate. But we want to eliminate some of these things. So for me, I started eliminating and say, why would I be going to this event and speaking at that event? Is it an ego thing? Because sometimes we can get trapped in that as owners, right?
Right.
So is it an ego thing that I want to go there because I wanted to be seen and heard, but I wasn't going to gain anything from it? Am I going to speak at a chamber meeting because I think I need to speak at a chamber meeting? Or do I need to be going to a chamber meeting because this particular meeting is for my target client?
Right.
Right. And instead of just the people who show up at chambers, the same
Right.
old people all the time, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right. And I
Right.
said, so now no more FOMO. I'm only going to attend something if it's promo. And promo for me is two things: promoting myself. I'm either speaking in front of the audience I want to speak to. I know that the people that are attending, I go to a lot of charity events
Mm-hmm.
because I know those are my type of clients, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to go to a charity event, and I love going to charity events because it's all what I'm all about. But I'm going to go to that charity event so that I can promote that charity, or I'm going to something that will promote my level of EQ, right?
Right.
Emotional quotient, where I'm leveling myself up, my person, I'm promoting myself, I'm promoting my ideas, I'm promoting my level of understanding and of learning. And I took this everybody take a deep breath.
Ah,
And this peace came over me of, wow, I don't have to be in the rat race. Look at my calendar. I just freed everything up because I was doing all these crazy activities for the sake of doing them. And I call that eating soup with a fork,
mm,
because you're running around all day and eating a soup with a fork and you're not fulfilled, and
right.
your pockets aren't fulfilled.
Right.
either. Right. Yeah.
Right. Right. Excellent. Well, because we're getting close to the end here, and this is absolutely fascinating, and I'm sure all of your messaging is just resonating with business owners and business leaders about, yeah, yeah, I want more time. Yeah, I want to level up and I want to elevate. So tell me a little bit about, you mentioned, helping leaders figure out what's not working. And then also, I know you have this masterclass that's amazing about hustle to harmony that you mentioned earlier. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's about my five strategies, or it's called Drive, right? The Drive formula. And it sounds like Formula One, right? Because we're going to
Yeah.
start driving. It's this Drive formula, but it's also an elite business formula as well. But yeah, we're going to talk about what I discovered when I was in the hustle and I took my business from $50 million in top line revenue to $102 million over 3 years. And because what I started doing was changing all the pieces, being very clear on where are my gaps and
Hmm.
who needs to fill them, right? And so we're going to talk about those gaps and elimination, versus addition, really assessing my team. And,
Hmm.
I know a lot of people could be adverse. I don't want to manage a bunch of people. Well, I don't want you to either, right? And I didn't want to. I just knew that I had to assess who was going to be the best people in the best place at the right time because I know I couldn't do it. If I was going to stay a practitioner, then who would know about me? I got to get out there.
Right.
I got to start promoting myself, right? As your audience will want to do with their brand.
Yes.
And, and making sure that I had a mentor because we can't see our own ears. We have blind spots. And I
Yes.
needed someone else. And having the emotional, the EQ, the emotional quotient
Hmm.
to be willing to do that, to
Yes.
ask, what am I missing? What am I missing? Right. Developing my systems for everything. And by the way, there's about 12 systems every single business needs to have. So build one and then start building the others. Right. And
Right.
that's what I help people do. And then cultivating relationships, cultivating these deep, strong relationships so that, again, it takes a village,
Yeah.
right? So that I could not have to do all this on my own, but surround myself with people. And I ended up, sustaining this $100 million business with just connections to 22 people.
Okay.
So we don't need a million followers. It's
Right.
nice, it's fun, but that's ego again, and it's almost like we're going to go from ego to something else because the hustle is an ego where we feel we have to be in control and I'm the only one who can do it and they want me. And it's not. We want to get people to get to the point where they understand that if you build this beautiful thing and you learn how to delegate and you have the right team members, then you can live your life the way you always dreamed of it, especially when you started your business. That's what you started your business for. You wanted this dream.
Right.
And now it's become a nightmare. And I don't want that for everybody.
Right. Nice. Okay. Well, how can people find out more about your masterclass or hire you as a consultant, ask you to speak, or even grab a copy of one of your numerous books?
Yeah.
Where should they go to find you?
Yeah, the best place to go is to go to jenduplessis.com. There's all kinds of information there. But on Hustle to Harmony, we have a link that we'll provide to you, and you can have that in the show notes too. And we're doing
Yep.
them every month. So, if you can't make it one month, you can certainly come another and bring your colleagues, bring your team, because it's so great when you can learn together because you can implement faster.
Yeah.
I always find that that's a really great way to do it. But yeah, you'll find me all over social media. I believe all over social media. I'm Lady Jen. Facebook has one of them. They don't let you change your name after you have your name in there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that'd
a
be
long time ago,
Facebook.
I was
Yep.
Jennifer. And so you might find me there, but which seems so formal, right? And so
Yes.
I haven't been
Yes.
Jennifer in probably 20 years. But yeah, so you can find me Lady Jen everywhere. And, I'm terribly responsive. So I cannot wait to hear from you if you have a question. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That is very, very generous of you to offer those master classes to my audience. And let me tell you, as someone who has sat in on one of Lady Jen's workshops, it's amazing. You will be absolutely inspired to go level up your business after you spend time working
Oh,
with her.
thank you so
So,
nice. That is so nice.
yeah.
Well, you're wonderful too, and I appreciate it. Could I leave this quote? Can I leave
Yes.
this quote? Okay. So this is a quote I thought my mom made up, but apparently there's somebody else who made this up. Her name is Ella Wheeler Wilcox, and it's called Life Scars, but I'm only going to give you a portion. And it goes like this: We flatter those we scarcely know. We please the fleeting guests, but we deal many a thoughtless blow to those we love the best,
Mm,
including ourselves.
yes.
So I encourage you, be as good to yourself as you
Yes.
are to that business.
I like that. Thank you so much for sharing that quote. That's great. And thank you for being on the show today. I really appreciate you
Pleasure.
taking the time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so
Yes.
much for what you're doing to help people get their brand out there so they can live those beautiful lives. Thank
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate that. And thank you, listeners, for joining us for this episode of the Turbo Branding Show. I hope you've been inspired to ignite your growth by leveraging your brand. And if you enjoyed this show, I would love it if you could help me build a strong brand following for the show by liking, subscribing, or leaving a review. So thank you, and stay tuned for our next episode.